the screen. All right, awesome. Hi, everybody. How's everybody going? Wednesday, hump day. Fun, yay. Cool. So my name is Omer. I'm the director, one of the directors in Mindesigns. We're a marketing agency here in Cairns. And we reside here at the residence tenancies in JCU. One of the things that I like about agencies is that we're really trying to embed a culture where we look forward. We're sort of, being curious humans. And what's the great thing about that is that we really always get our employees and us to look at what's happening next, what's going on, and just making sure we're staying on the trend. Now, today is very exciting because I'm going to share with you a little bit of an update what's happening in the digital marketing realm, some interesting updates from Meta that I think are very important to communicate. Also, what that means for marketers in the future. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And obviously, towards the end, we'll talk a little bit about how we are leveraging new AI tools as they progress and improve in our own agency, and sort of what to look out for in the future. So a few months ago, Meta announced that they're basically trying to automate the digital marketing services. So as you know, Meta has ad services. And in 18 months, they believe that they can completely automate that process. Now, that's kind of a scary announcement to hear as a digital marketer, right? Well, there's some comfort in the words I'm about to say. But first of all, obviously, big tech companies always make those announcements to get their employees motivated, to have a goal to set out. But where I think this is going will take a little bit more than 18 months. But we'll talk a little bit about that in a sec. Now, in front of you can see a few ad variations that their AI technology generates. Can you see a problem with that? Can you see any problems with anything? No? We'll talk about that near. Yes, we'll definitely cover that. But as you can see, the second ad from the right, have you noticed that it's cropped it a bit? How would you feel if your advertising was a little bit cropped it or didn't represent your brand properly? Anyway, more to talk about as we go, but this is just a point that I will come back to. Now, talking a little bit about Meta and what it's doing, because it is AI related and it is about improving marketing, it already has features that we can use to enhance our marketing, specifically the copywriting and the creatives, the images and videos. Now, with the AI ad copy, how it works is basically you either give it your website to get content from, to understand what you offer and how to represent your brand in the copywriting of the description of the ad. Or you just put a variation, and then it basically, you go to ChatGPT, hey, give me some variations. It basically does that. It gives you variation of the copy to test. Okay. Why I want to talk about that, because there's a really important piece of information in this. Now, Meta is not the only company that goes and crawls your website to find information of how it can create the content. Google does it as well. As well as other tech companies where you can advertise your services and products. Now, I just wanted to touch on that because if this is how they're collecting information about you for marketing, this is also how they're collecting information about your business for SEO and for information and for many other things. So what do we take out of that? Basically, your website is really important, okay? The information you put on your website, the way you represent your brand, your vision, your mission, your team, your clients, your testimonial, all that information is where those big tech companies collect information about your business. Now, obviously, the more quality you invest, the more quality your website is in content and representing your brand, the better job they can do with marketing your brand or with promoting it to people who are searching for your services or products. Okay, really important point to remember coming into the future, because all those AI algorithms, they go into your website to see what's happening, okay? So if you don't have much information there, or it's misleading, or anything like that, That is how they'll basically see your brand and promote it, whether it's organically or paid advertising. Okay, moving on to the AI ad visuals. I found that the more we're going to automate your marketing, the more options we have and the more choices we have to make on those ad platforms. I mean, the enhancements feature, the AI enhancements feature for your ad creatives, it's complex. You have like 8 different ways to enhance your text. You can't really go and see, like you're not going to go and see exactly what they put out to your audience. So, I've been using Meta's advertising services for maybe almost a decade. And back in the day, it was a lot easier. Yeah, you just put a few copies, you put your ad visual, whether it's an image or video, you'd set your targeting, that's it. Now you have a lot more options. So even like what they were saying, 18 months, we're going to automate your marketing. From where we are at now, it's actually a lot harder because you have all these options, which one works, which one doesn't. It's not just one A/B test, it's hundreds of A/B tests. So at the moment, it feels a little bit more complex than what they say. But we'll talk more about this. So for you guys, I did a little test. And for the advertising we put out for this session, I did an A/B test. I had the ad that I was running for this session, and I created another one where I just switched on all the enhancements, all those enhancements for the ad creatives. And the results I got, I basically spent $100 on each ad, and the results I got were very similar. There wasn't a big difference, to be honest. Some KPIs were doing better than the other, but on the other hand, other KPIs were doing better than the other one. So not a big difference. I can't say like, oh, it reduced the cost per new participant by 50%. That didn't happen. So what does it mean by completely automating all your marketing? What is Meta trying to achieve, and how it's going to look like? So basically what they said how it's going to look like is as follows. You put in an image of your product or service. Okay, so the creatives. That's the step 1. Step 2, you just put a brief description about the product, how much you're selling it for, who's your target audience, maybe a bit of guidelines of your brand so it stays consistent. And step 3, that's it. Sorry, can we mute people online? Thank you. So basically, Meta says, we got this. We got all the information we need. We'll take care of your targeting, your ad creatives, your delivery, and personalization. Okay? Now, just touching on those points, ad targeting is probably the first thing that Facebook and many other companies were trying to automate from the start. Okay? And they had many years of improvements, testing, to the point now where targeting is pretty damn good. Like they do a really good job at it. So, and can anyone tell me the reason why they do such a good job at it than us? Like, doesn't matter how good they do it better. Do you know? It's a good question, but essentially, Facebook has a lot more information about your audience than you do. So you can go ask a few of your clients, a few of your potential customers, what they think of your product, who they are, blah, 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 get their information. But Facebook has a lot more data to work with, and they've optimized it to the point where it's great. So they know your audience in terms of what they follow, what they look like, what they're attracted to on their platform, what is their profile, how they they can even hear us talking, as you know, like we say something and all of a sudden we get ads about it. That's how good their targeting is. So in terms of our input, not much input is needed. Ad creatives, at this point, we still need to put a lot of input into our ad creatives. As you saw before, there's still issues with consistency, with correction. So definitely something that as marketers, we still need to have a lot of control over. Delivery and personalization, I wanted to highlight personalization because the feature that they said they'll come up with in 18 months and what they want to see and how it looks like is amazing. I'm really excited about that. There's a few barriers, a few issues with that, but it's going to be very effective to the point where I think that will reduce a lot of our costs in terms of advertising. That's why I envisage. But I'll tell you what personalization means. So imagine you're selling a car, okay? And you switch the personalization option on Facebook. What does that mean? So you basically upload the creatives, like the car picture. And what Facebook will do is, for example, if you have a target audience who's looking for a car in the city, it will tailor the ad to that person specifically, to exactly what they're looking for. So obviously a person in the city, they're looking for more comfort, aircon coming from the chairs, easy and clean look in the car, maybe more luxurious sort of features. So basically the ad copy, the ad visuals, as you can see, will all be tailored to that person. That is an insane amount of accuracy. And obviously for the person that lives in the mountains, is more roughneck, more looking for like a car that has like 4-wheel drive features, maybe words like durable, resistant. Those are the sort of marketing words that we need to tailor. That's what Facebook is trying to do for that person. And that's what personalization means. And that's happening in the next year or two. So that's what we'll see. And those are the options that are available. Can you think of challenges that come to mind when you think that personalization will happen soon? No? Good. This is what this presentation is about, getting you to think. So, challenges. Thousands of ads. How do we have control over what our audience see? So branding consistency, reputation, filtering, all those points are super important to think about when you just give Facebook the control to personalize all your ads. I mean, think about Red Bull, for example. What comes to mind when we think about Red Bull? We see, planes flying in narrow paths. We see motorbikes doing backflips in the air. We see very high quality images. But imagine all of a sudden you see someone driving a car at the speed limit, or someone riding their scooter, their electric scooter with a helmet. You don't want Facebook to get your branding wrong, because otherwise you're hurting the reputation. So obviously as marketers, someone has to be the filter. Someone has to make decisions, and someone has to have a look at it. Smaller brands can maybe afford to make a few mistakes because their brand is not known yet. But bigger brands, if things like that happen, obviously that could hurt their reputation, lose a lot of clients, especially if things are not working on the other end of delivery. So just to touch on that, so one of the things that when I heard the message first, when Facebook said it, I was like, oh, they're going to automate everything. We won't need Facebook ad managers or marketers. If a business can go on Facebook and say, oh, this is my product, this is the description, go. There is that challenge of someone has to filter it. Someone has to think creatively, what's the next campaign? Okay, that's what will make the difference in the future between businesses that do it very well and businesses that don't. If you give full control to Facebook to market your brand, obviously it won't be as good as if you have a marketer who understands the psychology, understand your branding right. So obviously our jobs as marketers and business owners who are the only people who are marketing their business, we always need that. And we always will need those skills. Someone has to press the button eventually. So a little bit about AI automation versus input. So just touching on that, so you understand where the skills of marketing in the future are most required. And video generation is really interesting, and I'll talk about that in a sec as well. But as we said, audience targeting, not so much. Things are going very well. It's all those platforms are doing a very good job at that. Advertising copy, we still need to put a lot of input into advertising copy because there's a lot of creativity in writing, right? We can't ask ChatGPT to write a version of Harry Potter that will go very well, right? There's a lot of creativity in what we do. We read like an interesting piece of writing and we can get emotional about it because someone wrote it with so much, depth and creativity. So that will always be needed. Image generation as well. The thing that AI is struggling to do now is to connect copy with the image. So how sometimes you see like a huge billboard and you see a beautiful image of something and then like a nice slogan that connects well with the image. At this stage, AI doesn't do that very well. Okay, it will soon do, but they still need that input from a human person that understands the branding and understand the message that the business is trying to communicate. Video generation. There's just so many variables when it comes to video generation that the AI will always need input from us to shape it the way we want it. So you can see that where the skills in the future going forward is very much the copy, the image, and video, but highly the video generation. And I want to talk a lot about that a little bit more, because that's, I think, where marketers will thrive in the future and where we can add a lot of value to businesses. Now, I'm going to show you a video that was created using VO3 by Google, and just show you the amount of work that was needed to put into that. And then we'll have a little chat about some points that I want to mention. Okay, let's see if I can do this right. Sorry, can people see the video or no? They not see the video. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Get that video and the audio working for you.
Hello, human. I am Dr. Chip Motherboard, a totally real robotics expert. I am definitely not AI.
Okay, yeah, Chip is definitely AI, and I'm the real me.
Sorry. 1 second. Okay. Let's see this. Sorry, I just need to get the audience here to see. Okay, everybody can see it? Cool.
Controlling that AI character. The film you're about to see, including Chip and all the other visuals, were created with AI video tools, including Google VO3. Most of the audio is also AI, except for my narrations. So stick around to the end to see how we did it. And action.
Rise and shine, Joanna. It's 6:15 a.m. It's going to be a great day. Oh, you'll feel better after a workout. I've sanitized your sports bra.
Thank you. I got the Optimax 5000 to make my life better. It has me waking up early.
Here's a tasty breakfast.
Eating healthy. I'm working out harder than I ever thought I could.
Remember, Jane Fonda always said, go for the burn, sweat. Chin up. That all you got? Pick up the pace.
I was a lead engineer on the Optimax 5000 robots. We designed them to optimize workplace efficiency.
Here, some deep research for your presentation.
And the robots really got creative with that.
Time for your coffee IV drip.
Max really keeps me sharp at work.
Do you not know how to spell February? Put the R before you.
Though now that I think about it, he's not usually the nicest.
Pop music rots your brain.
He is really becoming a lot. And there's really only one place I go to get a break from him.
My privacy policy prevents bathroom entry. My ultra-sensitive microphones indicate you are not engaged in elimination activities.
And that's when I realized I had to do something.
Joanna, please don't do this.
creeps in through the window pane. Dust motes dancing in
Good morning, Joanna. I made you your
coffee brews in the old tin pot.
Now that's more like
That I
it.
haven't forgot.
Real me again, not Botox me, not video game me, not Ashley Judd me, and not zero gravity me. And those were actually the best of what we got. Roll the bloopers. So yeah, lots of issues. But we wanted to push the limits of AI video. We wanted to make a film with characters and humor and meaning, art even. Enter Gerard Cole. Gerard is a longtime video and audio producer. To get the consistency right, he generated approximately 1,000 clips to make what you just watched. And after trying lots of AI video tools, we found Google VO and Runway to be the best. Yes, in VO or Runway, we could have typed in a woman and a robot working out and gotten something. And even though she looks exactly like me, with that simple technique, we wouldn't have been able to make those characters consistent in every scene. And by the way, these clips and the sounds you hear were generated with VO3, Google's latest model that combines visuals and...
All right, I'm going to stop there and just have a bit of chat. Oh,
Would
okay.
actually, and I'm thinking of giving up the board here because I've been on this board for 4.5 years,
Okay.
5 years.
All right, I'm going to put... Yeah, I'll just get my slides back up. Just people that are raising their hand online, just please keep your questions till the end. I'm happy to answer them then. Okay, everybody can see it. Okay, so put this aside. Can everybody hear me online? Sam? Yeah, cool. Okay. Okay, so interesting, no? There's 2 points I want to cover here. So one is AI videos is opening a whole new frontier for us. Why? Because it gives us the ability to do things that otherwise would be very, very hard to do in terms of video, okay? Especially for marketers. Imagine having to have like a robot prototype for this video, getting him to do all the moves, getting like a UGI person to get him to move in the video, or having like a big truck that you drag, you know, think about the logistics for that. Basically, what AI for video generation allows us to do is really to open up a whole new realm of marketing, because it's just cheaper. We can basically think of something and do it on our own in front of a computer. That is insane. So where marketing is going in the future, or how businesses will you know, sell and market, is very much about who can be more creative with those tools, because they're not going to get worse, they're only going to get better, and the people who know how to leverage these tools will thrive, because you can do everything in terms of video. It's really cool. Now, the other thing that's sort of the point that I wanted to touch on, I don't know if you noticed, but every clip in that video was about, it wasn't longer than 8 seconds. At this stage where video generation is, it's limited in that. So it only creates short clips for you based on your prompts. It doesn't give you like a whole minute. Okay, so we basically created a process to create a prompt for that, and I'll cover that in a sec. But essentially, these tools will get better, but maybe thinking about it in clips for if you are going to use them to promote your business, it's a good way to go. Not only this is what is offered at the moment, but it's also very engaging to have different clips. You've watched that whole video, but you probably didn't notice that every clip was less than 8 seconds. No.
Be free and
Okay. So how can we use AI tools to improve our marketing? The moment you've been all waiting for. So I'm just going to cover some points, specifically things that we use in our agency to improve marketing, actual tools that we leverage. Maybe, it will give you some ideas of how you can do it in your own business. So audience targeting, I'll just touch on that again. It's currently the way Facebook do it and Google do it, they do it better than us. They had many years of optimization, before the LLMs came out. It's pretty much automated. So, if you give it some direction, what's sort of your audience, they do a very good job at targeting just because of the data they have of your audience. So advertising copy. So does anyone here use GPTs in their work? Like, hey, okay, use GPTs. Okay, good. About 30% of the room uses GPTs in their work. That's great. Well done, first of all, because they do help us a lot, and they do improve our efficiency as humans in marketing and business. So definitely create GPTs. Do you know why GPTs are so important compared to just going to ChatGPT and start prompting and starting to creating? No? Two things. One, saves us time. We can create the process for the GPT of what we want and the quality of what we want. So in terms of time efficiency, it improves it. The second thing is you can train your GPT based on the knowledge you want it to be trained on. That is a very important point. If you have IP within your business, or how the know-how, or you've collected a big database of information to help you generate copywriting, then that's how you leverage GPTs. And there's two types of marketers in the world. There's ones that, happy with the noise. There's nothing that goes to waste. Brand advertising, it's awareness, it's branding. That's one type of marketer that you'll find out there. The marketing that we do, or the marketing that I like, is more based on data, more information, psychology, testing. That's the marketing that I advocate for. I understand brand awareness, how important it is, and people say that although you didn't get the conversions you want, people still learned about your business and saw it. I'm more about the data. Make sure we get the return on investment that we want. Now, that's sort of how we trained Frederick with that sort of mindset. So Frederick actually has many, many, many different reports from academic studies about what works for marketing in terms of content. What is the ultimate or the best heading size for Facebook? So is it 8 words? Is it 10 words? What sort of benefits are the most effective when it comes to marketing? And all that is basically put into Frederick. Okay, I'll show you what Frederick does and how it saves us time, so you can maybe start applying some of these. So, sorry, just 1 second. Stop sharing. Okay, so 1 second, guys. All right. Everybody can see it up here on the screen. Yes, so for the people online, we have a big screen here and a lot of people, so I just trying to manage both audiences. Everybody can see my screen with Frederick. So what Frederick does for us, it generates all the copywriting we need for ads. That's sort of where we start when we market our clients. We go to Frederick if we're doing a Facebook campaign, and that's what we use to start getting ideas. Some people might say, "Oh, you're using ChatGPT. It's a shortcut. It's not that effective." We have some clients like that, just so you know. But to be honest, what this GPT does is insane. Instead of starting with like a blank piece of paper, this gives me variation based on a lot of report and psychology and information and academic studies that really it's going to be, at least a very effective point to start from. Okay, and I'll show you how it works. So I'll just say hi. Okay. Hi there, ready to craft some high converting Facebook ad copy, da-da-da-da. What is the ad? Who's your target? What is the hook? Da-da-da-da. I'm just going to show it very simple. I'm just going to go to our event page, and I'm going to generate Facebook ad copy for the event that we are in now. instead of me answering all that question now in front of you, I don't want to waste your time. So I'm just going to Control-O, Control-C. And I'm going to say, hi, can you base the ad copy on this landing page? OK, so heading, discover the AI tools top marketers are using. Not bad. Learn how AI can cut your marketing workload. Join our free AI marketing workshop in person or online. So join Omer. So this is the description. So obviously, all your ads at the top have the description. So in the description, you put more, a little bit more context about what you're offering, maybe some benefits. So join Omer Bernstein, marketing expert and co-founder, for a free session on using AI to supercharge your marketing. No fluff, just real tools and tactics marketers are using right now. Attend in person or online. Book your spot. Not bad, right? Pretty to the point. It also considers like things like, making sure in the heading, like, one of the first things people might ask is, can I join online? Then some call to actions. And then it gives me also like a long form that I might be using at the description. But what I'm trying to communicate here is that this tool saved me a ton of time now to think of everything by myself. I can start at least from something that we personally optimized to get better results for our clients and for ourselves. So this GPT has a lot of use for us. Moving to the next one, which is also very exciting. Just 1 second. So this is the scene. Let's just keep questions till the end. OK, cool. That's all right. Right. OK, so that's one way that we use it. One way that we use AI and is optimizing our time and the results. OK, so the next one, we talked about video editing. It's really cool, no, that we can do all this stuff? I'm very excited, personally. So as I said, so there's two things I want to talk. One is that those video tools, like a VO3 for Google, they are pretty expensive. If you want to get the tire at the moment, that's free. It costs quite a bit. If you want to just get a few tokens to create prompts, it costs you per token. So just one thing to consider is that prompting, you just got to have a really good prompt if you want to get a good piece of content. OK, not only to save on the cost, but also to save on you having to iterate and iterate and iterate. So one of the things that we basically created is a GPT that helps us create the prompt for the video generation tool. OK. As you saw before in the video that I showed you, she said, oh, like a woman working out with a robot. And she got this weird thing that completely disconnected from what she wanted. But if she had a lot more descriptive prompt, then obviously the result would be better. OK? I'm not going to go and prompt it because it will be a bit boring and you have to read a lot of prompt. But I just covered the important points. Show you so I basically took the prompt from Sam and put it in Gemini, and this is what we got.
This wasn't created in Photoshop.
Oh, wasn't sure.
Created in Photoshop. It was generated by AI. Tools like this are going to change the marketing world forever. Join our free session today.
That was the 8 seconds that I was talking about. But what did you think? Not bad, right?
This wasn't created.
Here's another one.
This wasn't created by me. It was generated by AI. Tools like this are going to change the marketing world forever. Join our free session today.
I like the way I look in AI. It's a bit more thick. So, OK, so prompts are important. I'll show you an example of the prompt that we need to generate, what you need to think of when you're prompting as well. And also what's important when it comes to video marketing or like creating a video for your marketing campaign. So everybody here know what's a hook, a marketing hook? Yes, some people saying yes, some people not so sure. But to create a really good hook For your video, it's obviously you have to consider the first few seconds in the video, from 0 to 6 seconds, even less than that these days, okay? And a good hook creates a good contrast, okay? You are challenging an opinion, or you are challenging the status quo, and that's what gets people curious. For example, in the video that I showed you, these marketing tools are going to change the way marketers work, or the marketing world forever. Okay, so it's already stimulating things in our brain like, oh, I want to learn about that. I want to know more about this. So there's essentially 6 archetypes of creating a good hooks. There's the future, which sort of like, we do things now like this, but soon everything will change. Really good hook. Then you have the storyteller. I walked out of my house in the morning, everything was normal. All of a sudden, a big truck pulls out and a person with a gun comes out. You already want to know what's happening, right? I created a contrast. It was a normal day. All of a sudden, something happened. That's storytelling, right? Movies that usually tank are movies that don't create that contrast within the first 10 or 15 minutes. Just something to note. And the magician, for example, I'm just giving those examples so to give you some ideas. The magician is like, oh, I went on SEMrush, the SEO tool, the other day, and then they added another feature. I tested that feature, and it completely changed the way I was getting results from organic search. So it's like the magician, I did this, and something amazing happened. Okay, so creating contrast. Something normal, all of a sudden completely changed. So the same GPT tool that we created knows that. That's the information that I put in the GPT to create an amazing prompt, okay? The hook is obviously what is spoken in your video, like what's the context. The other part is the visual, okay? And I'll talk about the visual now. So it's sort of the combination of both those things. So you don't have to read that. I'll just cover it. So your prompt have to have the hook, which is the context, the spoken words to hook the person, and then you have the visuals. Now, the best prompts, or the best prompts that we're using now, the things that we think is working really well, follows 3 steps, 3 easy steps. The scenario. So you need to tell the AI video generation what you want to see, what it looks like. In this example, it will be like, instead of reading the whole thing, it will be a Colosseum, in Rome, ancient Rome. People are fighting in the background. There is dramatic sound effects. You give it a bit of the scene. What do you want to see? The pre-action is sort of the lead up to what is important to cover in the video. So in this example, I'll just play it, and then maybe I should have played it, but let's just play it quickly. So I did a little fairy tale spin there, but essentially what I was supposed to do is to dodge someone with a sword. It didn't capture it, so obviously you still need to keep iterating. But the idea here is the pre-action. I walk with my phone, and all of a sudden someone comes to attack me, and I dodge it. Okay, that's the visuals of the video creation process. So when you're creating those snippets of 8 seconds, make sure you tell them for each scenario what you're doing. So for example, the video we saw before, one of the scenes, well, like she was working out. So in the front of the house, I'm working out with my robot. I'm doing a press, and then the robot, blows the whistle or something like that. So you just need to follow those steps. Okay. So to summarize, I think the tools that marketers will be leveraging in the future are very much what I just talked about. Creating GPTs based on information or private information of the business, and especially creating videos, because there's just so much creativity we can add to this tool and do it from our own computer instead of going out there and shooting massive, costly productions. Okay, that's where things are going, and it's already happening. So here's just like, so I actually tried these ads with this event, and I think online we actually have a pretty good, I think it's a record number, 40+ people online, so that's pretty good. But here, I'll just play those 2.
This wasn't created by me. It was generated by AI. Tools like this are going to change the market world forever. Join our free session today.
And then this is the one that
wasn't created by me. It was generated by AI.
Same thing.
Tools like this are going to change the marketing world forever. Join our free session today.
So as you can see, you can do really cool stuff with your marketing by generating those videos.
This wasn't created by
And this pretty much brings us to the end. I will, before we ask questions, I just touch on the Impact 10X program. So the Impact 10X program is a really exciting venture that we're doing in collaboration with JCU and the Queensland government. We're pretty much delivering this, like delivering events for businesses to improve their marketing, their finance. We have different topics, so you can find all that on the website. We're also writing a simulator for people who are testing ideas or want to do their own startups. We've had one 2 weeks ago, and we got a ton of great feedback from the participants. And if there's any participants online, thank you very much for participating. And the other thing is the venture builder, where it's more for exclusively for businesses that are already getting traction and they just need more support from the community and the resources that we have here at JCU. You can if you're interested, or you want to keep coming to these events, or just following the simulator and the venture builder program that we're doing here. This is the QR code for the LinkedIn profile. That's where we release a lot of our content. That's where we're most active. So yeah, it would just be great if you're interested, just follow that. That is pretty much it. Sam, you had a few things you wanted to talk about? No? Okay. Oh, okay. So for the people online, we just have a few people presenting next week here. So just I'm opening up the stage now for questions. Anyone questions online or questions in person? Yes.
I had played yesterday with Blaze AI, and I thought it's a game changer. Really did things up for me. What are your thoughts about Blaze AI?
About which AI?
Blaze AI.
Blaze. So I haven't had the experience with Blaze AI particularly. Is it a video editing generator?
No, it's just creating a lot of basically it scans your website. So talking about what you said before, got to make sure you get your website messaging right. So it scans your website, creates a brand kit,
yep,
and then uses that to create social media content, SEO content.
Okay. Okay, so just for the people online, someone from the audience talked about a tool that scans your website. Sorry, I should pass this around for people, but it scans your website and helps you create marketing content. Blaze AI. Anyone else that has any questions about the topic? No? One second, I'll just get past you it's just people online can hear us.
Just about how to get that your AI masters or your ad master and so forth into GPT. Is that something you developed, or is it something that's available?
Yeah, good question. No, it's something that we developed. We didn't develop it. We basically trained the GPT to use the content to produce the result that we want. So you have, I think, 8,000 characters or something that you can drop into the GPT to train it based on, and then you can upload PDFs or Word documents with more context to give the GPT more context. Does that make sense? So you can actually build your own GPT.
Yeah.
Am I sharing Frederick? Santi, yes, we're sharing Frederick. Yes. You shared Frederick online? Yes. Cool. Yes, we can share Frederick. So is it on Teams now so people online can? Okay, fantastic. Any questions online? One from Paul. Paul,
thank you very much for your presentation. That was really interesting. When it came to the video productions through AI, did you compare the cost of doing the AI generation as opposed to traditional methods? And was there a saving, or was it more expensive?
Very good question. Good question. So at the moment, I think the tire to, I might have to check the pricing again, but the last time I checked, it was like $250 for VO, the VO3, yep, the Google generator. So, and that gives you, I think, infinite prompts. That's the package that allows you to play as much as you can with it. So that's the cost for that. Yeah.
Okay. And that's pretty cheap compared to having cost effective in terms of having a whole production crew to do what you just did, correct?
So it's on a case-by-case basis, but the idea of the VO3 and the video generation software is that you can do really creative stuff that otherwise would have cost you a lot of money. So for example, imagine me walking in front of an F-16 and promoting, I don't know, shaving razor blades. You know, it's just not possible to do that. So with those tools, you can actually create really, really cool stuff that otherwise would have been very expensive.
Yeah, it's a very great presentation. It's really exciting stuff that you're doing, Omer, and it's going to be leading the way. So thank you for sharing that. I
appreciate it. Thank you very much. Cool. Anyone else? Yes?
Is it on?
All right. Yes. Just click that one. You got it.
Just a very specific question, Omer. So you're talking about audience targeting earlier at the beginning, and you're talking mainly about Facebook, but can you use LinkedIn or other social media sort of get-together forums for the same purpose? So LinkedIn, the reason I'm asking that is that I've got a piece of work coming up where my audience will probably not be necessarily Facebook friendly, but they will be LinkedIn friendly. And so can you use that platform for the same mechanism of audience targeting?
Yes, I think Facebook has that ability LinkedIn has that ability as well for targeting. I'm just trying to recall, but I think with LinkedIn, what I like about LinkedIn, particularly when I use it for our clients, is that you can target specific job titles.
That's the one.
Yeah, and that is the thing. You know, because with LinkedIn, you are targeting, you know, sometimes B2B businesses, sometimes specific roles. So that's what's really good about LinkedIn. You can do it. In terms of which one of them is more advanced, Facebook, in terms of like
I understand
automating the targeting.
But what I'm thinking of is probably several notches down anyway from what you're talking about, but it's a way of, you know, disseminating information. But I might talk to you separately.
I think from the memory, I think LinkedIn has a feature for automating the targeting for sure.
Thank you.
But from what I've experienced, Facebook is just way ahead. Anyone else? Questions? Cool. Well, thank you all for joining. I hope I gave some value and that you enjoyed the presentation. Yeah, we're doing these specific ones every month. Obviously, every Wednesday we have the Connectivity Cafe for the people online. But just so you know, if you're looking for other events, you can find everything on the Impact10X website in terms of the speakers that are coming in the future. Cool. Thank you very much. Yes, sorry, Sam.